Hello. Who wants to see islands? Tiny islands. Everywhere you look. Yes, we are flying over the Maldives. Our first time visiting this country. Let me show you what it's been a longer than normal flight for me. We took off from Thiruvananthapuram and actually flew southeast. We went until the southernmost point in the Indian subcontinent, here at Kanyakumari, and then we flew west, long sea crossing west, and we have been seeing the islands for quite some time. Let me get external views before we start the approach. We're heading towards Maafaru, which is still in the northern part of the Maldives. It is a default airport, which is not, and it's not supported by Beyond ATC, so we don't have ATC for this flight. So I tuned in a simple RNAV approach, and we'll start following it pretty soon. The Maldives, as you can see, it's a very interesting place. They are a very interesting place. About 1,200 islands, and even so, they amount for so little land that it is the smallest country in Asia. In terms of landmass, although the islands are spread for around 90,000 square kilometers. And it's also the lowest country in the world. Officially, the high point of the Maldives is 2 meters above sea level. Although there are claims that there are places that are 5 meters above sea level. So, yeah. Okay. The fact that the country is so low, of course, means that it is one of the places that stand to lose the most with the rising oceans, probably that are going to be the result of climate change. But, you know, we'll see how those things develop over the next few decades. The Maldives, of course, are known for tourism these days. Although this is relatively recent, the country had a lot of political instability over the last few decades. And the large infrastructure for Western tourists and Chinese tourists and Indian tourists has only started a while ago. Relatively short time. Hold on, let me just activate the approach. We're already turning towards Vigot, which is 113. Again, it's a default airport. I have no wind information. I have nothing really. Let's slow down a little bit so we can deploy flaps when you have to. Few bumps. Landing light. Our next turn is to 148. It's an RNAV, so we can remain on GPS throughout. It does have a glide slope, it seems. So we'll see how it goes. And the Maldives, of course, other than tourism, it is a fishing country in terms of economy, which you would expect given its peculiarities. On the next few flights, I'll try to learn a bit more about their history. They have been inhabited, I mean, the islands that are inhabited or have been so for about 2,000 years, but it's a Muslim country. The Muslims came here at about the 10th century AD, and they quickly took hold of the population here. Okay. This is a new version of the Aerostar as well. It's version 1.0.6. Not many changes, a couple of bug fixes, and technically, and it does seem to be the case, turbulence is a bit more realistic. The airplane seems to be shaking, not much, but more than it used to. And yeah. So once we turn, we'll deploy flaps. We're slow enough. The flight has been quite cloudy for most of it. I couldn't really find any information about Maafaru, honestly. It does have an international airport, so which is what brought me there, but the main resorts and etc. don't seem to be at Maafaru Island, only on nearby islands. Getting ready to turn. Can get flaps. Full mixture, a little more power, and the next turn will be the final one to 238. If we do that turn, we turn on approach mode and start descending. I believe that's how the approach goes. Yeah. We descend to 1,600 feet, and this is how descend now, actually. Just so we have enough time to set up properly. I have absolutely no idea about the wind. We might be for a terrible crosswind or tailwind or whatever. So that could also be a factor. Turning right. Speed's a bit high for gear, but once you stop descending, there we go. Approach is engaged on the GPS. It does have a glide slope, so. And there's the runway right in front of us. Probably not very long. Altitude. Approach, glide slope. Everything looks fine so far. Again, the wind is going to be the major variable here. Speed is good enough for gear. Which I'll drop right now. you could also see it. Glide slope has already been engaged. So start descending. Five more miles to go. Let's not miss this runway, shall we? Lights, fuel pump, systems look fine. It is less hot than in India actually, less than 30 degrees, so it's good. 1,000 feet. Full props. It's a shame Flight Sim still has those lines on the sea, on the ocean, pretty much throughout. I know it's probably very not trivial to get rid of them given the source of the imagery, but it would be so much nicer if we could. Alright, less talking, more landing now. And no smog. What do you know? Just a beautiful island. $400. Autopilot off. Wind doesn't feel too bad. Some trees quite close to the runway. It's not that short of a runway either, so. Oh, that tree over there though. Was there even a windsock? I don't think there was. Again, the airport is not featured in Flight Sim, might not even have any buildings. Anyway, less talking, more. Here we are, Maafaru, in the Maldives. Next time we'll keep exploring the archipelago, we'll start going south. Hope to see you there. Thank you for watching.